Ukraine is still at war. There's still war fighting going on. For us as FSD in Ukraine, we've got minefields and we've got BAC. So at the moment in the minefields, we found anti-personnel bound-in fragmentation mines and TM62Ms, which are anti-vehicle mines. The site that you looked at today is a battle area clearance. The contamination on this site is sub-munitions. It's also air-to-ground rockets. So that is the S8KO rocket at the moment that we found. Because we're so close to the front line, the contamination here is so high, so detectors will alarm on everything. The gross contamination that we have with fragmentation will slow us down. If we look at mines, obviously they are victim activated, so therefore you have to do something to them. So anti-personnel mines, you have to put pressure on them. If you've got tripwires, then you are putting tension on that tripwire as you go through to pull that device, or you're cutting that tripwire to release the tension of that. So you are physically doing something to allow that to function. If we look at UXO, that's completely different. So UXO is fired, dropped, or thrown. So that is something which is designed to detonate on impact or in proximity to something. So therefore, that's not designed for you to actually touch it in it for it to detonate. Hence the reasons between manual mine clearance drills are completely different to what you saw today out there, which is battle area clearance. If we look at a projectile and a mortar, that failure rate generically is between 10 and 30%. However, if it's submunitions, that could go as high as 40%. But a lot of it depends on how that weapon has been stored. So if you have soft ground and you have an impact fuse, then that actually could not detonate just simply because it's very soft soil. So it's not a clear cut and dry, it's a certain percentage. Which is why we have to, when we do our excavations, we do it gently, we do it carefully to investigate, to find out whether the item is safe to move or non-safe to move. During the summer months, it's very easy for flails to work, it's easy for manual deminers to work. However, in the winter months when the snow, a little bit of snow is on the ground and the ground is very hard, that's an unsafe practice. Now, what you saw today was battle area clearance. Now with battle area clearance, that's totally different. So we prepare the ground, so we search the vegetation, okay, with visual search detector assisted. So we go through making sure all of the vegetation is clear, we cut that vegetation, and then we will go and do the large loop, which is looking for bigger items. That's why that was planned this way for the winter time, because already it's been surface searched, so there's no threat to the deminer. And then we will loop it, and then if we find an object, we mark that object. It just means we come back to that object, okay, later on when it's safe to dig. In other countries in the world, we may cut vegetation, and then in the next couple of months we can still go back there and work. Here, you have to start all over again. That's because the soil is so fertile. And that's why it was planned that way.